Hi, my name is Bibek Adhikari. I am an English instructor. In today's class, we are going to solve the reading and listening portion of Unit 5, that is, the largest living bird. So, let's begin. Hi, we are now going to start the reading portion and the listening portion of Unit 5. Under the listening portion, we are going to listen a narration about Gopal, and in the reading portion, we are going to read about the largest living bird. So, do you know what is the largest living bird in the whole world? Do you have any idea about the largest living bird? We'll find that in a minute. So, that's all for today. We are going to study two things: one, reading, and the second portion is listening. So, let's begin. Let's go to the first portion. It says, look, listen, and say. Look at the first picture. You'll see a boy and a girl looking at a lion. So the lion's inside, and the boy and the girl, they're looking at the lion. So the question can be, how often do you go to the zoo? And the answer is sometimes. So let's repeat, let's practice. How often do you go to the zoo? Sometimes. Let's look at the second picture. A girl is going away from the home. So this is a home, and she's traveling somewhere away, and the two people waving goodbye to the girl. The question can be, how often do you go to school? And the answer is every day. Let's look at the third picture. So these are the people enjoying picnic. They are eating good food, and there's even soda right there. So the question can be, how often do you go on a picnic? And the answer is sometimes. Let's repeat these questions and answers. Let's start with the first one. How often do you go to the zoo? Sometimes. How often do you go to the school? Every day. How often do you go on a picnic? Sometimes. Let's look at the another one. The boy is brushing, and another boy is brushing his teeth. Another boy is now going to ask a question. How often do you brush your teeth? Always. How often do you dance? Look at the last picture. And the answer is never. The girl is dancing, and the boy is staring at her. His arms are folded, and the girl asks a question. How often do you dance? And the answer to that is never. By the way, did you notice some of the words that are quite peculiar? They're quite unique in this text. First one is sometimes. Second is every day. Third is always. And the last one is never. So these are the words that define the degree of doing something, the frequency of doing anything. Sometimes, every day, always, never. Now I can ask you a question. Do you do your homework? And you can say, or I can ask, how often do you do your homework? And the answer is, well, is it sometimes or is it always? You can say, I do my homework every day, right? Do you, or the question can be, how often do you go to swim? The answer can be, never. I never swim. Or I always go to swim. Or maybe I sometimes go to swim, because sometimes sounds better. So these are the words that denote the degree of probabilities. Degree of doing something. All right, let's have similar conversations. Wash your clothes. That's the first idea. How often do you wash your clothes? Sometimes. Let's try these questions. Number A, we have cut your nails. Question can be, how often do you cut your nails? Is it never or is it every day? The answer can be sometimes. How often do you comb your hair? The answer is every day. How often do you polish your shoes? Every day. How often do you drink coffee? Sometimes. It could be never if you've never tasted coffee. How often do you listen to English songs? Sometimes. Could be every day or every night or maybe always. or maybe never. Assuming that you have never listened to English songs, you can say never. So, depending upon your degree of doing something, you can choose the proper words. You can either say sometimes, or you can say never, or you can say every day, or maybe every night, or you can say always, or you can say sometimes. All right, so you can use these words. Now let's read a rhyme, or you can even call it a poem. But before that, let's look at the picture. So you can see, there are a couple of people jumping. I mean, there are three people, two boys and a girl, who seem very happy. But there's a boy who's pretty lonely and is just standing there staring at these people who are having the best of the time. Now let's read the rhyme, all right? Do you know anyone? Do you know anyone who always feels shy? If you push him, he never says why. If you beat him, he often makes you cry. Seems like a poor story. So this poem, or the poetic story is about this boy who feels very shy. So a reserved person is someone who doesn't say much, is quiet most of the time. So the boy is also quiet. If you push him, he's never going to say why. And if you beat him, he'll just cry, So, very sad rhyme. Let's move on to the listening portion. We are now in the listening portion. Let's look, listen, and do. For solving the actual questions, let's look at the picture there. That's a girl there who is eating her meal. Could be dinner, right? And there's a boy just beside her. Seems to be pointing in the opposite direction. Look at the picture and answer the following questions. Who are they? Where are they? Well, they seem to be in a dining hall or a dining room. And we can only assume who they are because we don't really know who they are. For really knowing who they are, you've got to listen to me read the listening script. So let me read that. I have a friend. His name is Gopal. We study together in class 4. He always makes a noise in class. He never does his homework. He sometimes quarrels with his friends. He often comes to school late. Teachers are usually angry with him, but he never listens to them. So who are these people, by the way? They are in fact friends, and they are in the mess or the dining hall of the school, probably. Let's move on to number B. Listen to the teacher or the tape and complete the following sentences with the words given in the box. So the words are usually, sometimes, always, often, and never. First question, Gopal, that's a blank space, a long blank space there, makes a noise in the class. And the answer to that question is Gopal always makes a noise in the class. He does his homework. He never does his homework. Too bad. He's a bad boy, He never does his homework. He sometimes quarrels with his friends. He comes to school late. He often comes to school late. Teachers are usually angry with him. So that's the story of Gopal. So Gopal seems like a bad boy. And my suggestion is don't be like Gopal. Okay, let's move on to the reading portion now. It's called Read and Answer. Where are ostriches generally found? So that's the question. Look at the picture. We find a picture of ostrich there. And the question is, where are ostriches generally found? Now let's read. Ostriches are the largest and strongest of living birds. They do not fly at all. They are generally found only in Africa. They are about 8 feet tall. They weigh up to 136 kilograms. They have long necks and small heads. They also have large eyes and short, broad beaks. Ostriches spread their small wings when running. They can run as fast as a horse. They can run about 65 kilometers per hour. They have long, powerful legs that are used for defense. Their feet have only 2 toes. Male ostriches are black. Ostriches usually eat plants. They sometimes eat small reptiles. They mostly live in dry plains and deserts. They often have to search for water. They can go for a long time without drinking if they have enough green plants to eat. The females lay yellowish white eggs. The eggs weigh about 1.4 kilograms. Interesting, isn't it? So you found out something about ostriches. Now it's time for me to give you some homework. Your homework is going to be pretty simple. All you have to do is find more information about ostriches and present it to the class. So that's your homework. Find more information about ostriches. And how can you do that? You can either go to the library and flip the encyclopedia, or you can go to Google and find more information about ostriches. So there are 2 ways. The first way is you can walk into a library, or you can go to Google and find more information. So either internet or the library, right? So that's the way. With this, we've come to end of today's class. If you have any questions or suggestions regarding these video series, feel free to write us at learning@dearwalk.edu.np. Thank you.